Hello, welcome to another seated workout. I'm just going to tweak my camera to see if I can get it a little bit clearer. That's there. That's better. You can do a bit of everything today. You won't need anything other than a cushion. You don't have to have a ball. I've got a ball, but just a cushion, something that you can squeeze in between your knees. Okay, so find yourself a cushion. I'll give you a moment. And a chair. Obviously, for the seated workout, we need to also have a chair. Okay, you need to have your feet flat on the floor. And we're going to start freeing up the shoulder girdle, which will in turn free up your rib cage and help you to breathe more easily. And it will also help to free up your spine. It's all interlinked. So let's start by shrugging the shoulders up and then sending them down. We're going to breathe in deeply as the shoulders go up, and then all the air out to allow the shoulders to go down. If you've done the other seated workouts, we'll be repeating a few things today because so far it's all been quite new. It should be easier to understand when we do it for a second time. So inhale up, exhale down. As I said before, the breathing is linked in to the position of your shoulders, because as we breathe in, we use some of the muscles that also raise your shoulders. So we need to also breathe all the way out. We're going to turn this into a circle now. So we're going to take the shoulders forward and up to your ears, then try and squeeze them back and down. It doesn't matter so much what you do with your arms, the focus is on the shoulders. And if I show you side on, my back is getting involved now. So I'm trying to exaggerate, pushing the shoulders forward, letting my back round, pushing them up, and then squeezing them back. Pushing forward, up to the ears, squeeze them back and down. Let's do 3 more. It's very common for people to get a bit stuck in the shoulder girdle, so let's try and get to move. And that will help to free up the rib cage. Okay, I think that's 3. I'll do 1 for that. And then your hands on your shoulders. Now we're taking the elbows forward and up. And we're making a big circle with them, sending them back and down. Letting them back round, to bring the elbows together, then up to the ceiling and behind you. Forward, up, back, and down. This is a great one, not just for people who struggle to move in normal workouts, but also for people who are sat at a desk, just to have a little break to get everything moving around. Okay, let's keep the hands on the shoulders and reach one elbow up to the ceiling and the other one to the floor, and then come back upright. One elbow up, other one to the floor, and then back upright. Let's try and breathe in as you go over. Almost like you're breathing into that side that's opening up. Inhale to breathe into the opening side, exhale to come back. Inhale, reach the elbow up. Exhale down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale down. 2 more like that. And then let's have your left hand on the chair. You're going to reach your right hand up again. This time I want you to make sure your right sitting bone is on the chair, so you're not letting that sitting bone come off as well. Sitting bone on the chair, hand to the ceiling. And take a few breaths and really see if you can concentrate on breathing into that side of the rib cage. All the ribs are attached in by little joints to your vertebrae, so we're decompressing the spine by getting more movement. Left hand up, deep breaths. You can put your hand on that side of the rib cage. Try and fill it up. Take a few more. Is your left sitting bone still on the chair? It hasn't come off. Your spine moving naturally. And then coming back up. Okay. One more for the spine. Left hand on your chest bone. Your right hand's going to go on the inside of the right thigh. And then we're going to lift up as tall as we can and take that left elbow back. And you'll come to a bit of restriction there at some point. I want you to just stay. See if you can breathe. Get any taller. Press your right hand into the inside of the right thigh. And then come back. And then switching over. Left hand on the inside of the left thigh. Right hand up on your chest bone. Get as tall as you can. And then rotate. And you're going to reach that right elbow back. When you get to your first bit of restriction, just stay and breathe. Lifting tall like you're spiraling upwards. Pushing gently with that left hand. And then come back round. And then repeating it. Left hand on the chest bone, right hand on the inner thigh. Lifting up tall, rotating. This time, when you've got to that point, that first bit of restriction, we're going to reach the left arm. We're going to extend it out behind you. And you're going to reach your fingertips behind you as you get taller and taller. And then come back. Switching over. Lifting tall, rotating, following that right elbow behind you. When you can't go any further, when you get to that restriction, extend the right arm. Reach through your fingers. Don't worry if you're not going as far as I'm going. I do this quite a lot. And every time you do it, you'll get a little bit more rotation. And coming back and forward. Let's do two more. A bit quicker. Lifting tall, rotating, then stretching out the fingers. And coming back. Lifting tall, rotating to the other side. Stretching out the fingers. And coming back. You should feel now like you've got a bit more room in your rib cage to breathe. Let's do one more thing before we move on to the legs. We're going to tuck our chins in. Feel like you're sending your nose towards your belly button. And then you're going to let your hands go all the way down. And you're going to take the crown of your head down between your knees. And when you get there, I'll turn side on and show you when you get to wherever you're going to get, everyone will get to somewhere different. Just hang the head, let the back of the neck open. And see if you can try and breathe, send your breath into your sides and your back ribs. That might feel quite restricted, but let's take a few breaths there. Breathing into your back and your side ribs. It doesn't hurt to pull your belly button in here. As you try that, stop all the breath going down into the diaphragm, trying to send it into the back of the ribs. And then let's uncurl bit by bit by bit, up to sitting nice and tall. Good. We're going to take the cushion now, or if you've got one of these balls, obviously you can use that. And put it between your knees and wriggle back with your bottom so your legs are as supported as they can be, your thighs are as supported as they can be by the chair. And let's put your fingertips on your hip bones at the front. Well, they're not really our hip bones, but that's what we call them. So these little pelvic bones that you can find at the front here. And we're going to sit tall. And then I want you to start really feeling your belly fill up as you breathe in. But then trying to draw it deeper in towards your spine as you breathe out. Very simple, just to get that pattern. Filling up as you breathe in, and then it's going to draw in as you breathe out. Filling up as you breathe in, drawing in as you breathe out. So that's the image I want you to have, that you're going to become more compact as you blow the air out. It's got a strong breath out. It helps us to find our tummy muscles. Because on the exhale, the diaphragm is lifting up out of the way. It helps us to connect our core muscles. So let's be a bit more specific now about where we're drawing in. On your exhale, I want you to imagine you're trying to draw your hip bones in at the front, but you're also trying to draw your tailbone in at the back. So your tailbone, you can follow your spine all the way down. You'll find a bone almost on the chair, just above the chair, at the very end of your spine, the tailbone. So on every exhale, we're trying to get the image that the tailbone's pulling in at the back, hip bones pulling in at the front. And that might feel very subtle, but if you practice this, every time you sit on a chair, just take, say, 5 breaths and try and imagine that drawing in. Your core muscles will start to wake up and it will become a bit more obvious. So let's try and hold that drawing in feeling. We're going to keep breathing, but we're not going to let the tummy fill up completely on the breath in. We're going to try and keep some engagement, keep that feeling of being compact. Hip bones in, tailbone in. Make sure you don't hold your breath. Now let's add in the squeeze of the ball or the cushion between your knees. You're going to breathe in and let everything go. On the breath out, we're going to draw in, squeeze the cushion, and we're going to keep it for a few breaths. Tailbone in, hip bones in, inner thighs squeezing. I see a lot. Try to draw in, imagine you're drawing in, and then let go. And again, exhale, tailbone in, hip bones in, cushion squeeze. Hold that for a few breaths. Continue to try and squeeze the knees and draw the core in. And then let go. We'll just do that twice more. I know I've given you a lot to think about already. But we're not losing any height. We don't want this to happen. And let go. Last one like that. Core muscles in. Thighs squeezed. Now let's keep that. So the inner thighs aren't really going to let go now. They're going to keep squashing your cushion as much as you can remember. You're going to keep a feeling of drawing in with the hip bones and the tailbone. And then we're going to extend our right leg up and then bring it back down. Right leg up, bring it back down. Right leg up and bring it back down. I'll show you side on. I'm not letting this happen. I give in my lower back. We're keeping the spine nice and tall. Let's just do 4 more. 4, 3, can you get even taller? 2, 1, hold that foot up and just circle your foot around here all the time. Can you get taller? Are you squeezing into the cushion? Let's change direction with that foot. Are you feeling any tightness in here? Give your tummy a poke with your fingers. And put that foot down. Same on the other side. Stay there so you can check. Same on the other side with squeezing the ball. We're going to lift the leg and lower the leg. So my left leg is a bit tighter. It's going to be harder to stay tall if your hamstring is tight. There's a lot going on here. You're strengthening your VMO muscles, which are the part of your quadricep that's really useful for stabilizing your knee. Also working your inner thighs. Also stretching out the back of the leg. Okay, let's have our last 4. You're working your deep spinal muscles to try and hold you up. 3, 4, let's stay really tall. Okay, and bring that leg in. Let's all go side on to the camera. My favourite, and I feel a very important stretch if you're sitting a lot, the hip flexor stretch. So put your right hand on the back of the chair. You're going to have your right buttock on the chair. Your left buttock is going to be off the chair, okay? Then you're going to take that left foot back. So I'm on the ball of my left foot. You're going to try and tuck your left sitting bone under so that you stretch out the front of the left thigh. And we're going to reach that left arm upwards. So you should be feeling a pull anywhere from right above the knee, right up to here. If we're tucking under with the left sitting bone, we're opening out that part. Reaching up with the arms is going to give you even more of a stretch. Let's come out of it and switch over. We've got the left buttock on the chair, the left hand on the back of the chair, the right foot behind you. You're tucking your right sitting bone under, and that should give you that pulling feeling in the front of the right thigh. And then we're going to take your right arm up. I'm going to hold the stretch. If you haven't got a stretch, maybe you can take your right foot further back. Maybe you can try and get the sitting bone under, or think of the tailbone going under even more. Usually that will give you a stretch. And then coming out. Okay, one more thing, just to finish. We're going to turn our palms to face out and push the shoulders forward. And that's a lot to think about, isn't it? Then you're going to lift up, lifting your chest. You're going to turn your palms all the way out the other way. This isn't a precise position. You're just trying to get your back and your shoulders moving. So you're going head of the shoulder forward, chin forward, palms facing out. Rotate the arms the other way, chest bone lifted, arms facing out that way. So we're rolling the head of the shoulder forward, then we're rolling the head of the shoulder back. So your elbows will be facing out, and then the elbows will be facing. Couple more, let's go forward. And then take a nice deep breath as you come up with your chest. Good. And I will be back again on Monday. In the meantime, really try and think of lifting your chest bone and lowering your chin when you're sat up. Then everything is in harmony in the neck and the back. To letting your chest collapse and putting your chin up, which is not good news for this area at all. Okay.